Hi and welcome to another video. Now today we're going to look at my top albums of 2025. Now a few things before I start. Number one, this is possibly going to be the most eclectic selection of music you're about to witness. There's quite a lot of different genres in here, so watch till the end and then jump in the comments with any thoughts you might have. Two, if I like the sound of something, I usually go off that. I'm not really governed by much else than I've learned to appreciate what my ears know, and I understand what my brain really enjoys hearing, and it pretty much just go off that. You know, if there's a band I really loved, I have to check it out. But if it's something new or I'm on a bit of a discovery route, I will just go off what my ears enjoy, and it's led me to a lot of great music, so I really stick to it. And 2025 really reaffirmed that what I was listening to, and even the way I was listening to it, say 5 years ago, is now very, very different. And I like to sort of keep that evolution cycle sort of going. So I just trust my instincts and listen and listen to anything that makes me feel good. Three, I want you to kind of equally think of this as a recommendations list. I know it's sort of, we're quite well into 2026, so don't just think of this as my top albums. It's also recommendations. So after the video, I also encourage you to jump in the comments with any of your own recommendations, because I'm always looking for new stuff. It is one of the most enjoyable parts of listening to music is finding new things, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I've gone so long with never discovering how amazing this is. And yeah, I sort of really enjoy that aspect of listening to music. So this takes me on to my next segment, and I just sort of want to talk a little bit about the social community that I'm trying to build. Now you can scan this QR code. That will take you to my Linktree page, where you'll find links to join my Discord. On that Discord, the large majority of it is to do with like learning. I'm sort of trying to build a community of learners and learn from each other, so it doesn't matter your background, whether you're industry, professional, beginner, you're just curious. Join that Discord, and I kind of want to bring all those different elements together, regardless of what your name is. It's what you're interested in and who you are. And there's also links to my Instagram and then back to this channel here on YouTube. So if you enjoy this sort of content, please let me know. You can like the video, drop a comment in whichever way you feel is appropriate. And you can also obviously subscribe, which apparently does help towards growing what I've started. So let's get into these top 25, top albums of 2025. So the first one we have is Coda by Novelist. Excuse me. So this album, I got to know this band via going to a Radar Festival. There's quite a lot of bands featured in this list that are sort of because I've been to Radar. Um, and it's amazing since first attending that festival back in 2023, um, what I've since discovered. And I think there's a couple of things going on there. I've been learning music, and attending Radar. They sort of ran parallel, so I think they both kind of edged each other on in a forward momentum, which is yeah, it's interesting. But there's so many things that I've experienced and learned in that sort of time period. So anyway, let's carry on. The mood of this album, I'm sort of getting like it's quite uplifting. It's energetic. It's really powerful. I'm hearing kind of pop rock. It's got a bit of a Paramore vibe, the vocal sort of style, with this sort of progressive melodies, etc. And then it has like a metalcore edge because those vocals sort of push into more aggressive kind of territories now and again, and I quite like that melodic into aggressive, back to melodic. I like that variation. So yeah, I really enjoy this album. It's super listenable. I would say it's for fans of, say, Bill Murray, Paramore, Architects, and your standout tracks for me were All for Nothing, Adam and Eve, and CRC. So that takes me onto my next album, which is Mirror Touch by Volumes. I've also seen these at Radar, discovered them because of Radar. The mood of this album is it's really driven, really powerful, and quite reflective, I found. I'm hearing that, strong modern metal sound, the hard rock metalcore again, for fans of Bill Murray, Sleep Token, Novelists, and standout tracks here definitely are Bottom Dollar, Stitch, and SOAP. The next album is IO by 1056. Now, this album is hard. It's got I'd say it's quite a dark, powerful, and commanding sort of mood. Really strong in the heavy metal, metalcore, deathcore, and would sort of say possibly, Lorna Shore fans, Chelsea Grin fans, Resolve fans. Standout tracks in this one: Pig, ICU, and Banshee. The whole album is like a huge roller coaster, hard, forward paced, pushed, energetic album. But those three tracks are particularly what stood out to me. Now, on the note of Lorna Shore, this brings me to my next album. I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me by Lorna Shore. Again, a dark, powerful, and really epic album. Like, super epic. The whole time I was listening to this, I was like, this is epic, this is epic. It's the one word I would really summarize with this album. And I'm obviously getting black metal, deathcore. It's really fast paced. It is brutally accurate. I really love the mix of this album, how it was all put together, the form of the song, the structure of the order of the songs. Yeah, it's absolutely, it's a pleasure to listen to. Um, and definitely for sort of fans of Diarte's Murder, Chelsea Grin, Make Them Suffer, and the standout tracks for me, if I was to give them, would be Oblivion, In Darkness, and Glenwood, but would 100% recommend you listen to the whole album in the order it was sort of written. It's a great way of digesting their music, I would say, in this case. For the next one, we have Angel by Unprocessed. Again, another powerful album. A little bit hypnotic and technical too. Um, Things I sort of hear are definitely progressive, gent, more metalcore. I'd say bands would be Bad Omens, Thornhill, Volumes. Standout tracks for me are Sleeping with Ghosts, Sacrifice Me, and Where I Left My Soul. But once again, I would recommend listening to the whole album in the order it was written. It takes you on a really good journey. Next one for 2025, I have Buried in Jade, 1,000 Below. Again, this is another powerful, expressive, quite reflective album. I think you're getting a bit of a theme here of my sort of taste when it comes to sort of various genres of metal. And getting, again, metalcore, heavy metal, modern metal. It's really clean, fresh sound. And fans of Bring Me the Horizon, Volumes, and Caskets would probably enjoy this album. My standout tracks on this album: Shake, Wrong Again, and Royal Effect. However, another recommended, don't skip, do the whole thing. It does work as one whole album. Now, the next one is a very well-known artist to me. I've listened to Caliban. This is probably the album in this list from a band I've listened to the longest. Yeah, me and Caliban go back a long way. And again, another epic, dark, think of a heavy gym session. I would load this album up before going to the gym and just go from start to finish. I'm hearing deathcore, metalcore, and kind of hardcore with the breakdowns and some of the vocals. It sort of reminds me of that hardcore sort of vibe. Um, Fans of Anne is okay. Bleed from Within, Heaven Shall Burn. I would recommend. Would enjoy this album. Standout tracks from me are Back from Hell, Dear Suffering, and Till Death Do Us Part is superb. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the next album we all probably know, Tsunami Sea by Spiritbox. Um, I describe the mood of this album as like assertive, powerful, independent. Again, it's got that really fresh modern metal sound, which I personally really enjoyed. Like clearly executed metal music makes my brain just go, "Oh yeah, this is tight. This is cool." I'm also hearing a bit of heavy metal, and I think fans of Ginger, Architects, and Poppy would absolutely just chomp this album down. It's really, really, it's a great, it's fresh, it's original. I like what this album does. And my standout tracks for this were No Loss, No Love, Ride the Wave, and Deep End. I think they're more towards the end of the album. Like the second half of this album, I was like, whoa, my brain enjoys this second half of this album. Yeah, superb. Now, an absolute change of direction now, leaning into that eclectic sort of shift. We've got an artist called Loyal Kana with an album called Hopefully. Now, one of my favourite ever drummers of all time, Richard Spaven, was the cause of me listening to this album because he played live with this band for them and did an excellent job. It's a really atmospheric album. It's chill, it's blissful. It's got things I'm hearing. It's got breakbeat, alternative, it's rap. I think a lot of I think this album would cater to a really broad audience. Just give it a go, and I bet this is one of those albums that a lot of people would find something to like in it. And I'm thinking sort of fans of Georgia Smith, Richard Spaven, who I've already mentioned, and Alfa Mist. Standout tracks: Feel at Home, Horcrux, absolute number one track on this album. It's absolutely amazing. And then Hopefully, which is the title of the album. The next one, slightly different again. You'll soon see how eclectic everything is. Tara Reid and Domster, I'm going to pronounce it as, Samsara. Now, I really, really love Tara Reid and all the work he's done. There's just something about his sound, the way he puts those sounds together. Yeah, just makes my brain go, yeah, this is cool. This album I would describe as atmospheric, a little bit surreal, and a little bit chill all at the same time. It's strongly hip hop, a touch of jazz, touch of soul, in my head anyway. You guys might have a different idea, so feel free to discuss. I always like to sort of maybe learn things I might not have necessarily heard so far, so it's always welcome. I would say fans of DJ Shadow, Jay Dilla, The Far Side would really appreciate this. And obviously a lot more, but I'm trying to keep it sort of concise. The stand-up tracks for me were Members Only, Infrared, and Mankind. Now, next album, just you wait. Infinite by Mobb Deep. I cannot get enough of this album. It is so, so good. And it's one of those albums that every time I listen to, it seems to sound better or I enjoy it more. yeah, it's pretty great. I would say it's quite defiant in its tone. It's chill and thoughtful. You know, it's one of those albums you listen to and you go, it makes you think. You know, it's just a thought provoker. So I obviously hear hip hop, more jazz, more soul. Um, yeah, it's again that I like that kind of fusion of sounds, like hip hop, jazz, soul. Yeah, give me more of all the time. If you guys have got any suggestions for what you found with the hip hop, jazz, soul train, just please put them in the comments. I need more of it. I never get bored. And I would say fans of Wu Tang Clan, DJ Shadow, Common would really enjoy this. Standout tracks: Against the World, Paul the Henny, and Down for You slash Love the Way brackets Down for You Part 2. It's two different tracks and they're sort of interconnected. It is absolutely amazing. One of the greatest use samples of all time, I will say it, in my opinion. Such a well executed use of a sample. Just amazing. So absolutely well done. I love this album so much. It's completely worth a no skip listen. And like I said, it just gets better every time. So amazing. Love it. Next one, we have Tough Times Never Last. And I believe they're called Kokoroko. Please, again, correct me if I got this wrong. Do try my best. Again, this is a chill, vibey, think of a Sunday afternoon coffee kind of sound. I'm getting more funk, more jazz, more hip hop. Same words, different way around. It's just, yeah, I love it. Um, Fans of Nate Smith, Alpha Mist, Joe Armand Jones will probably like this. I do think it's another album that will cater to quite a lot of people. Um, my standout tracks in this one were Idea 5, brackets Call My Name, Time and Time, and Dadu Da. And on the note of Nate Smith, we have Live Action by Nate Smith. A superb drummer, someone I've recently discovered and just love going back through all their stuff. Really enjoy this guy's playing. Yeah, it really inspires me. I love it. Another chill, hypnotic, quite restorative album. It does. If I need a little bit of a lift, I get this Live Action on it. Yeah, it's nice. Um, Strong jazz, breakbeat, funky sounds in my head. And I think fans of Ghost Note, Mark, Juliana, Snarky Puppy would all enjoy this album definitely. My standout tracks: Undefeated, Last Sight, and Cough Drop. Cough Drop being my favourite. It's so good. Um, and now back onto another shift in sort of style of music. I did Roy, it's all over the place. Um, we've got Bright as Blasphemy by Chevelle. Now this album is ace. I've listened to Chevelle for quite a long time. Again, not as long as Caliban, but not far off. One of those sort of it stayed with me as I've grown up, and it's great. Very melancholic, very skeptical, anti-establishment. You know, see, don't look, use your brain, think about life. It's really a great, really good, thought-provoking album. A solid rock album, hard rock moments, and I feel like it's influenced by a lot of progressive stuff. And fans of Seven Dust Tool Deftones will definitely enjoy this. My standout tracks: Pale Horse, Jim Jones, Shocked at the End of the World. And this album is one of those that a complete doesn't make sense, and it's only 39 minutes. Because in my opinion, 39, 40, 45 minutes is just a nice length of an album. So another shift, another gear shift now, guys. We have Roulette by Alpha Mist. Now, I recently saw Alpha Mist and it was so good. Really enjoyed the show. It was just in, out, done. And yeah, superb job. Very chill, very reflective, another Sunday afternoon coffee kind of sound. And again, this is very jazz, very hip hop, very breakbeat. I'd maybe even say a little bit like maybe like a touch of indie rock at times. In certain moments, I'm like, ooh, that sounds like indie rock to me. That's cool. Um, Definitely for fans of Rich Spaven, Nate Smith, and 44th Move, which is a combination of Alpha Mist and Richard Spaven. So I'm all over that. Yeah, 44th Move. Just remember that name. Standout tracks for me: 9 Months, fantastic. I think it's Durzen Cafe, a superb bass line, which I think is done on a bass clarinet, I believe. And then another track called Avoid the Drones. So, in keeping with this sort of theme, the next album we have is All the Quiet Part 1, Joe Armon-Jones. This album, nice and chill, cool, really vibey. I'm hearing reggae. We've got a lot of reggae here. Jazz, hip hop, another combination of mine I love. Reggae, hip hop, jazz, fantastic. Definitely for fans of like Yusuf Days, Alpha Mist, Richard Spaven. And the standout tracks on this are Lifetone Snakes, Hurry Up and Wait. Now, keeping on with the Joe Armon-Jones theme, we've got part two straight away. Now, this half, part two, All the Quiet part two, is quite uplifting, cool, and vibey. So I think it's got a slight different shift to my head anyway. And I'm hearing more funk, more jazz, more hip hop. My favorite combo ever. And standout tracks on this part of the album: Acknowledgement is Key, Lavender, War Transmission. Now, I would absolutely set aside some time and enjoy one and two as a whole. That they back to back, they are fantastic. I actually do have the vinyls, which are just behind me, um, and I'll easily just get those two out and put them on back to back. Yeah, they're really, really two fantastic albums with a whole listen. Yeah, absolutely superb. Now, I'll remind you again of the crazy eclectic journey. We've now got another shift. We're going back into the metal territory, and Jewel by Ginger. I absolutely love this. This is one of the albums I listened to first time and loved it immediately, like no questions. It's super powerful, really independent, and I'd almost call it a little bit exotic. Um, I hear a lot of gent groove metal. It's got mega groove, this album. Probably why I liked it straight away. If metal is groovy to me, I'm straight on board. Um, yeah, I love it. And I think fans of Lamb of God, Opeth, and Spiritbox. Now, the groovy metal part, I'm hearing the Lamb of God, and I hear a like Opeth style stuff going on in this album. Absolutely why I loved it first time. Like Lamb of God and Opeth, two of my favourite bands. And then Spiritbox as well. I think fans of Spiritbox will love this. Um, my standout tracks on this were Tantrum, Hedonist, and Tumbleweed. Like I said, I instantly love this. No skips, all the way through. Yeah, great. Hopefully you'll love it too straight away. Next album we have Bodies by Thornhill. Now this is superb. Um, Another band I discovered through Radar. And yeah, the performance was fantastic. It's quite, I think it was 2023, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. Uh, I'd say this album's quite hopeful with its mood. It's pretty nostalgic and really energetic. It's got again that modern metal sound, metalcore, hard rock. They definitely remind me of Deftones. I can never, you may disagree, but I can't ever get it out of my head that every time I hear Thornhill, I'm hearing Deftones at the same time. I think fans of Sleep Token and President will also really love this. Standout tracks, the whole thing. The whole album stands out. It's just a super enjoyable listen. Now, another gear shift for you. We have Nothing by Darkside. Now, this is a really sort of surreal, dreamy mood. Think of a late night drive sort of sound. I'm hearing a lot of alternative experimental sounds, more jazz, more soul. Yeah, really, really cool. I'd even go to say, as far to say, as fans of Chemical Brothers, Glass Animals, Alt J would all enjoy this. And I think it's really accessible kind of album. Most people, I think, could listen to this and just enjoy it for the sound it is, regardless if you sort of really deep diving into subgenres, etc. Yeah, it's a very accessible listen. My standout tracks are, is it Slough or SLAU? It's capital letters, so it sounds like Slough but is written SLAU. American references and Heavy is good for this. Yeah, great, great album. Next one I have is No Feeling is Final by Two Lanes. This again is very relaxing, downtime, reflective. I'm getting sort of ambient house, easy listening, down tempo sort of sounds. Definitely for fans of The Blaze. Every time I hear this album, I'm like, wow, yeah, these guys are like The Blaze. Jeff Miles and even Deadmau5, and probably for that reason, another accessible album. It's super easy to just digest. There's nothing super extreme about it. It's just a really nice sound, and I think most brains will enjoy this. Standout tracks, the whole album, and this they've got a solid formula. When if you listen to this album, you'll realise the formula that is there. It's super good and it works. And this album's only 22 minutes, so super easy to get through, and I absolutely would recommend you try it for sure. Next album is in line with the sort of the last one. We've got The Watch Line by John Tejada, I believe. Now this mood, I'd say it's quite a focused concentration studying style kind of mood with it. I'm getting more ambient, more house, techno. For fans of like Dark Side, I've just mentioned Two Lanes and Jeff Miles. Standout tracks on this one are Drift Return, Static Searching, and Vaporail. A real nice sound of this one again. Now, this next album is absolutely on its own in the best kind of way. We've got Club Toonsy, I believe, by Amar 808. Now, I discovered these because of a percussion friend of mine, and ever since he introduced me to this artist, I cannot get enough. Um, the mood is quite concentration. I would put this on if I was studying or concentrating on something. And if you're looking for something new that'll completely reanimate your brain, listen to this album. Now, I did a bit of background reading, and I believe it's sort of traditional Tunisian music. To give it a genre, I believe it's a genre of Tunisian folk music called Mazoud, which is a bagpipe, a style of bagpipe used to create the melodies. And apparently, it was actually banned from Tunisian TV for quite a long time. So I think this has made its mark in more ways than people might realize. And it is super original in its sound, but to sort of kind of quantify what I'm hearing, I'd say it's very fusion. It's super techno, I would say. A little bit synth wavy with that traditional Tunisian music laid over the top. But absolutely give us a try. Anything out of this list that you're really, really wondering about, go for this. It'll just completely open your horizons to absolutely new things that you've never even considered exist. And it's absolutely superb. I love it so much. So this leads me on to my top 10. And there's a little bit more I want to sort of say about Amar 808 before I move on, but the top 10 is next. Yeah, Amar 808 is absolutely unique. Um, it's for the audio curious, you know, it's this electronic fusion. And you know what? Like other albums that I would describe as accessible, I think if you gave this a try, regardless of what I might have already said, I think you would find there's a lot that you enjoy. So yeah, just please, if it again, like I said, anything out of this list, please go for this. It's absolutely superb. Um, and it's only 34 minutes, so the all the tracks stand out to me. Again, it's got that formula. It's got the Amar 808 formula. Really, really works. Really, really cool. I think anyone who puts this on will just get up and start dancing to it. It's great. So another recommended accessible listen. And now we'll go on to my top 10. And I've sort of done it in a, let's see if we can guess. So from here, the tracks on the following are all zero skips, and particularly this one. And I'm going to give you a little moment before I reveal each one, and let's see if anyone can guess what they are. Just sort of play a little game. So at 10, we have, drum roll, Amen by Igor, I think I'm going to call it. I did see these at Radar 2020, ooh, maybe 2023. Might be wrong, could be 2024. I can't remember. Either way, they're absolutely superb. This this album, oh my god, this album is so intense. It's a little bit disturbing, and I think I would describe it if Neurodivergence had a soundtrack. This is what it would be. Um, things I'm hearing. I'm not a huge fan of this term, but I have to say, just to contextualize what I'm talking about, IDM, I would say, breakbeat, even deathcore. This album basically summarizes my sort of overall music taste. It's just all over the place. Fans of Infected Mushroom, The Algorithm, and Perturbator will totally get this album. If you want something that will blow your mind harder than the last one, the Amar 808 one, put this on and you'll just be like, wow. And if you do, please say in the comments and tell me what you think. So going on to number 9, we have Private Music by Deftones. And I would say the mood of this is quite hopeful, nostalgic, and imagine being on a road trip, getting that kind of mood off it. You know, I'm not sure why, but I'm just going off what I feel. It's typically rock, hard rock, and little sprinkles of say like prog. Um, Fans of Thornhill because I would say that they remind me of each other definitely. Even fans of Highly Suspect and Travell, which I mentioned before. Yeah, I think you would enjoy this. And Deftones have probably had the best time of their life since they started. So yeah, superb album, and it's one of those albums that it just works as a whole piece of music. So yeah, go through the whole thing, and I think you'll understand what I'm saying. Next, we have number 8. Now, I love this band. I saw them quite early on, and I kind of really want to see them again because I feel like they've shifted quite a lot from when the first time I saw them. It is The Sky, the Earth, and All Between by Architects, and every time I say that title, I always hear the lyrics in the first song. I'd describe this as like emotional, powerful, really outspoken, maybe a little bit defiant. I like that sort of, thought provoking, wake up, love that tone. I'm hearing a very modern metal, super clean, super tight, love it. Hard rock, and it's got electronic elements too, which always satisfies me. Um, and I would say Bring Me the Horizon fans, Imminence fans, Bad Omens would absolutely just shift into this comfortably. Next, we have number 7. Now, these guys are a new discovery, and I absolutely love the sound of these guys. They're so great. At number 7, we have Legacy by, I'm going to call them ILO. Now, again, jump in the comments with corrections. And I find this album really courageous, brave, and confident. That's the kind of mood I'm getting. I put this on and yeah, and it just lifts me. I love it. It's really, really great. Um, it's super proggy, super gent, super metal. Yeah, just like a big fat prog gent metal sandwich is great. Uh, Fans of Tesseract, they really remind me of Tesseract, but in their own original way. Dream Theater, Porcupine Tree, that sort of vibe. Absolutely, if you listen to any of those bands, I think you'll like these a lot. Next, we have number 6. Bit of a gear shift, but I think you'll understand why, since if you've lasted this long, well done. Number 6, and dying and desperate to see this artist, we have Recursive Infinity by The Algorithm. Now, this is, I'd say, describe the mood of this as energetic, bombastic, it's epic. Just imagine going for a run, a cycle, you're in the gym doing cardio. It'll keep you going for the whole length of it. I'm sort of hearing little bits of acid, drum and bass, techno, slightly cinematic. Give it a listen, you'll hopefully understand. And Prodigy fans, Infected Mushroom Perturbator, you'll all like this album, absolutely. Number 5, in the top 5 now. I've seen these guys again, Radar. I think it was 2025, 4, I'm going to say. We have Age of Aquarius by Perturbator. Now, the mood of this album is pretty dark, subdued, mystical. It's super synthwavy, techno, industrial. Yeah, really meaty, delicious album. Absolutely superb. Fans of The Last Artist, The Algorithm, Carpenter Brew, and The Midnight will probably all like this. And I would probably say maybe the last 2 albums are quite accessible. They're quite hard hitting and assertive in what they do, but I don't think it's too extreme that people would maybe like, oh, but if you don't like something, that's absolutely how it is. But I'd recommend it. Love them so much. Now this brings me on to number 4, another gear shift, but not too harsh this time. And number 4, probably equal to the amount of time I've listened to Caliban, maybe even a little bit longer actually. We have Sleepless Empire by Lacuna Coil. Now, another album that I loved first listen. The mood is really epic. It's commanding. It's powerful. I do find I love a lot of female-fronted bands with this commanding, powerful sound. It really makes me want to like get up and do stuff. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I'm hearing a little bit of djent in this, groove metal again. That's why I like it straight away. If your metal's groovy, I'm going to be first listen loving it. Heavy metal, and to be honest, it reminded me when I first listened to Commonlies, which was like 2022, so 24 years ago. Wow, that's mad. Fans of Evanescence, Lamb of God, because of the groovy part, and Spiritbox would definitely like this album. So top 3 now, it's getting intense. And if you've basically been on the internet for maybe 10 seconds, you'll know exactly what this album is and who this artist is. I first saw these in 2023 in Glasgow at Barrowlands, and it cost me like 30 quid, and it was the best 30 quid I've ever spent based on what then happened. I then saw them Radar of the same year, and just superb. Ever since I started listening to these guys, I personally cannot get enough. I love what they do with sound. I love how they mess with it. They do what they want, and they create something that causes people to like just break. It's really good, and I love them. It's Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token. Yeah, it's got a conflicted, driven, reflective sort of mood to me. And Things I Hear is basically a culmination of everything I've ever heard since I first discovered music as like a teen. It's everything in it all at once. It's great. I really hope they just continue to do this for the next however long they wish to do it for. Um, and Bad Omens, President, and another artist called Asfava would all like these bands. And if you like Sleep Token, and I know there's a lot of you out there, you'll probably want to check out Asava, and if you hear them, you'll see why. So, album number 2. This was a tough. 1 and 2 were super tough to decide between, but I had to make a decision eventually. Number 2 is an artist I mentioned not so long ago. It's another bit of a shift, and it's the artist that Alfa Mist and Richard Spaven formed, called 44th Move. And it's the album called Anthem. I have this on vinyl, absolutely love it. I'm gonna wear this album out. It's so fantastic. It's got a really cool, chill, hypnotic kind of vibe. I'm getting strong hip hop, breakbeat, jazzy sounds out of it. I cannot get enough of this album. I'm so glad those two music brains came together and created this album. It's absolutely fantastic. And obviously, if you're a fan of Alfa Mist or Richard Spaven, you need to get on this. And yeah, that whole Nate Smith sound, yeah, do not. If you're into sort of hip hop breakbeat jazz stuff, get this in your ears immediately. It's fantastic. So, on to my number 1 album of 2025. This the whole reason why this album is at number 1 is because of what it made me want to do musically. So I'm a drummer first, and this album just makes me want to pick up my drumsticks and learn every possible combination of this style of music. Um, it's Alpha Omega by Roughridge Crew, Goldie, and Submotive. It like it's so good I can't speak. The mood is super hypnotic, surreal, and I'd almost describe it as heady. Intoxicating heady. Um, it's pure gold drum and bass. It's absolutely superb with breakbeaty, bassy. Fans of Doc Scott, Dillinger, James Davidson will all. I mean, it's just drum and bass. Like, if you know, you know. But yeah, my number 1 album of 2025, Alpha Omega, Roughridge Crew, Goldie, and Submotive. And they have it, my top albums of 2025. Now, I had a great time putting this list together. It's the first time I've done this. I've seen others do this, and I was like, I want to do one of these too. So I just put myself out there and done it. So apologies if this is a little bit choppy or a little bit, not what you used to. But it's my way of throwing myself out there and learning and doing something new that I've not done before. And the next time I do it, which I will, I'm going to come and do this again for next year. Um, I'll get better and better over time, like you do with any musical instrument or anything new that you take on. Um, and what I've done is, I've, if you're interested in any of these albums, I have put a playlist together and I've called it Top Albums of 2025, and you should find it in the playlist section of my channel. And what I'll do is I'll drop a link in the description box as well. So you know, if you're struggling to see it in my page, you'll just should be able to see it down below in there. So and if your attention span got you this far, then firstly, well done. And if you've enjoyed this content, please let me know. Please like the video, drop a comment. You know, I'm looking for recommendations, what your thoughts were, any corrections. You know, I'm always learning and looking to sort of improve this sort of craft. And most of all, you can subscribe. That would be really, really great. It just helps me grow this community and what I'm trying to do on the side. And I'm really enjoying all this sort of those things I've not done before. And like I said, I'll definitely do this again next year. So bye for now, and just keep evolving.